One's a former NFL star turned esports coach.
I was getting the stink eye from my wife. She's like, "What you doing?" I'm like, "Nothing."
And one's a dad who can't stop playing Rocket League.
These kids these days, they're like, we're used to jump and run.
Together, they welcome you to Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge.
Welcome in to Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge. I'm your host, Ahman Green. I can't try to even try to speak in third person. Can't do it. So keep it 100 with y'all. So welcome to my Gamers Lounge. It's the ultimate destination for all things gaming. So this is where I'm going to talk about some fun stuff. So this is your show for your weekly getaway for the latest news, hottest updates and game releases and other things, in-depth discussions on some of the industry big topics that's going on in gaming and or movies or TV, and some movie stuff I'm going to talk to you about too that you must see in theaters. So whether you're a casual gamer or a hardcore esports fan, my Gamers Lounge, Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge, is for you. So whether you're a casual gamer or a hardcore esports fan, this is the place for you. Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge is the place for you. So it is something for everyone. So grab your controller, settle in, and join us as we dive into a dynamic world of gaming. And God, man, this was a fun past week, past weekend. And from last night, I'll get to last night. What happened last night just made me it put me in a good state of mind of being a person. And I'll get to that in a little bit, but I want to start off by talking about going to first Pittsburgh for the NFL draft. Thought that was fantastic. The weather was actually warm. I was thinking it was going to be a little chilly, similar to Green Bay, because it's not necessarily Midwest, but it's north. And so anything up north is, in my mind, this time of year is still cold, because living in Wisconsin for 20 plus years, I knew that spring officially started in May and not in April. Okay, so if you live in Wisconsin, you live in Pennsylvania and other states up north, that spring doesn't break until May, even though spring break has probably already happened in most of those states. That's the funny part. So that's where I was like I was pleasantly surprised by the warm temperature. It was overcast, so it wasn't much, no sun, not a lot of sun. The first day it was. But I got to spend that time with one of my daughters, Ahmani, and she is amazing. We had fun, hanging out with each other. And then I hung out with the crew from Native Youth Foundation a little bit. This was a tad bit was late because of traffic, but I was still able to show up and say hello to the event that we did. I know I posted on it just give you some true to life context on that. But that was Friday, and then Saturday watched the draft. The crowd was crazy. Ran into fans of all over, right? All 32 teams fans are there, and so ran into some Packer fans, ran into Bear fans, ran in Pittsburgh Steeler fans. I would have loved to be a Steeler if I had an opportunity, if they drafted me or free agent or something, because they reminded me of Packer fans in terms of their dedication, the way they talk. The way they boo anybody in their division. So they boo the Ravens, they boo the Bengals, they boo the Browns. The same thing, the Packer fans will boo the Bears, the Vikings, and the Vikings, and the Detroit Lions. Same, but vice versa. It's a reciprocal love-hate relationship between teams in the divisions of the NFL. So I thought that was fun. Had a good time. Met some great people there. All-time attendance record. Yeah, that's what I heard. What's up, Packers? Pac Man SDG, how you doing? So all-time attendance record getting bigger and bigger every year. Yeah, and I didn't realize, I don't know, was it a few years ago? I guess it was like a price tag on the go, or now it's free. I don't know. So I heard somebody mention that, and I'm like, I didn't know that people had to pay to come to the draft and watch the players get drafted. If they did, I missed that memo a long time ago. So, but like I said, with my daughter, with Keith Vasquez, shout out to him, Kansas Middleton, and Cam Lynch, former NFL player, also was there. Linebacker, played at Tampa Bay, I believe played at the Patriots as well. So they had a fun time. I had a fun time. And then off to MGC. So I went from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, flew into, and also how can I forget? Hold up. So the draft, hanging with my daughter, but then also did my job as the commissioner of the Players League. So shout out to Justin Ellis, Rick Suarez, Reed, Michael White, and a few other people behind the scenes that we were in Pittsburgh at a local, not far from the stadium. I mean, a little bit from the stadium, about half hour from the city, outside near another place where we had the Players League culminate for the football session. So we remember Players League. If you go to my website, or if you go to Stay Plugged In, it's an initiative where we mentor high school esports teams and kids that are learning not only playing video games and learning how to be a good player and all that, but they also learning business skills, work skills, job training skills, all that type of stuff. And so the initiative was to create a Super Bowl commercial. So they got to deal with deadlines, and they got to deal with making sure time management is their biggest thing of this the Players League football, because they have a commercial they got to shoot, and also they have a few of their players competing in the game of Madden. So that off went down great. Got to say congratulations to the team. Quest Forward, it was Hemi. He played Madden, and he was also one of the creative designers of the commercial that they did for Quest Forward High School. So shout out to Quest Forward High School. I will be doing an esports camp later this summer there in June, and then also down in Kansas at the Boys and Girls Club. Shout out to the Prairie Van Reservation down there in Marietta, Kansas. To my boy Cody Wilson, C-Dub. I'm gonna be headed down there again. So this is gonna be my second year on the road, going to those towns and states to participate in the esports camp. So I'm super excited about that. Getting that going again. And then I got football camps this summer. Got a lot of fun stuff I'm doing. Looking to get connected with Keith again, do another camp with the ladies in 7-on-7. But I got my man Dante. Shout out to Dante. Hold on, I gotta post this later. And let me see here. He sent me a message right here. So it's called the 5th annual Calip Youth Football Camp. It's going to be in Oklahoma. Let me see what part of Oklahoma it's going to be in. It's going to be in Hobart, Oklahoma, a Hobart High School football field in Oklahoma this summer. The dates it's just one day. It's Saturday, June 13th. I'll be there this summer. And then also the esports camps in Quest Forward High School, the 9th through the 13th, to the 12th, excuse me. So I'll be doing that. So fun stuff there. And then, so now I get on the plane, fly from Pittsburgh to Milwaukee, and I land and get the ball rolling at Milwaukee Gaming Classic. So shout out to Gwendolyn and Dan and the team of Milwaukee Gaming Classic, and then my team that was there with me, my wife, my son Virgil, my wife Marie, Akedo, so my man Alan, and ShnobiNova, his fiance wife, and Atomic Bomb and Eeyore, just to name a few. And then all the vendors we met. Tim Kafkow, the voice of NBA Jam. He's on fire, that guy. We released a new game, or we talked about a new game that we're in So I'm in. I will be the. I'm a downloader. I'm DLC for Mutant League 2. So if you haven't picked up Mutant League 2, I gotta look at my email. So I want to don't quote me on this. I do have some game codes. I gotta find them, and so a couple of game codes are for myself, obviously to play, but then some I'm gonna do for giveaways here on the stream. So either here on the podcast in the next couple of weeks or on the streams tonight. I gotta find them, so that's on me. I'm seasoned. Remember, I'm getting old, so I don't remember where everything's at. I lose my car keys all the time, so I gotta find these game codes for Mutant League 2, Mutant League Football 2. And I'm in the game. So it's super excited to make that, kind of talk about that, man. Talk about my whole gaming origin story, which everybody, if you're a fan of this show, my gaming origin story is basically where my dad, excuse me, was IT and at Northrop Aviation in Southern California. Brought an Apple II PC home one day, and I was hooked from that. I watched him repair the PC, and he showed me how to turn on the PC. He showed me how to move the mouse around. He showed me how to click on apps in the game. They weren't called applications at that time. I can't remember what they were called, but it wasn't apps. And so I played Carmen Sandiego and Oregon Trail. That's how I got going. So I was PC gaming first. And then ColecoVision came, then Nintendo, then Sega Genesis, and then boom, I'm off and running in that space. Obviously, school, sports, all that came all right along with me and gaming. So that was a beautiful thing, to be a part of MGC and thing in old school gaming. We were able to do the Pros versus Joe event, and just I know if you tuned in on the stream, maybe the audio was a little off. We're doing our best there. So if it didn't sound good, you didn't hear the game. We're playing Def Jam Vendetta. We played Def Jam Fight for New York, NBA Street 2, and Mario Kart Deluxe 8. So that's my game. That's where I dominated. I lost by 3 points by one of the players. We got to hand out prizes for all the people that participated. We had 9 people. We had one person ghost us. I won't say his name, but I remember his name. I don't know if I'm going to remember it between now and next year. But if I see his face, I don't forget faces. I'm going to be like, hey, man, you ghost our tournament last year. You signed up and then you didn't come back. So I'm just going to put it as that. I'm not going to say his name. And so, but the tournament turned out well. We had fun with it. Like I said, we played through NBA Street, Def Jam, Fight for New York, which was old school classics. It doesn't get any better than those 2 games right there. Actually, I got in NBA Street 1 and 2, or 2 and 3, and then NFL Street 1 and 2, and then Def Jam Vendetta. So I've been playing those all week long. So it's a great time there in Milwaukee. We got a chance, and then celebrate ShnobiNova's birthday. It was her birthday this Saturday, I believe, and had a great time. We went to I want to say Korean barbecue place. And so yum. If you ever been to a Korean barbecue, be ready to eat a lot of meat. Just know that. Even though I'm like 50-50. What's up, Wolfie 990? Sorry about that. Yeah, man. So we had a lot of meat at the Korean barbecue. That was fun. So we had that. So I had a full weekend. So draft, MGC, birthdays, old school video games, and just having a fantastic. I did a couple panels at MGC. One was with Tim Kafkow, who was the voice, like I mentioned, and another one. I signed autographs too for fans, and for the kids fans, is what is amazingly fun. Is the kids, they definitely, the ones don't know me, one, because I'm older, I'm seasoned. I could be their grandfather probably. They don't remember me playing. They don't know that I played ball, but they kind of get the rundown from their mom and dad that's standing there. So I thought that is always fun to hear the story, of how to say, hey, this is a guy, I watched him when I was your age, and now he does this. He plays video games for a living, or he does a podcast, or what have you. And so I think that's funny. I like to hear how a parent describes somebody they watched growing up, and now they're explaining me to their kids. So I like that a lot. It just tickles me because it's like, wow, I was able to live out my dream and did this. And that segues me into the next thing, what I want to talk about. Like I said at the start of the show, man, if you haven't seen Michael, the Michael Jackson movie, please go see it. It brought me back to a place where I realized my childhood was, oh man, I'll say it was fun. I'll say that much. And also realized that how much his music, Michael Jackson music, was in my life at that time. And I remember watching the movie and seeing him, as a kid to then teenager, then an adult, and then taking over his career and just going with it. Like, I remember all those times. I remember where I was when all that went down. So, his whole career, in the start of his career. Would you say Wolfie 90 said, my dad lost his starting spot to Deion Sanders at FSU? Oh, really? Your dad played college football at Florida State? Man. And that's interesting. Oh man. So where's he from? Where are you from originally, Wolfie 990? Love to know that question. So he was the previous starter. Was Deion a freshman or sophomore when that all went down? Just drop that in the chat for me. But yeah, watching the Michael movie maybe just brought me back to when I was 10. And I will say 10. I say 10 because 2 years before that I was 8. 2 years after that I'm 12, and I'm still a kid. And I just love the fact that it brought me to a place to realize that a Florida freshman. Okay, from Florida freshman year. Gotcha. And I'll talk on that. I want to comment on that, Wolfie, in a little bit. But let me finish my story. I'm telling you about just sitting down. So if you get the opportunity, one, go see Michael in the movies, just to have an experience of full sound. Go on $5 Tuesday. Go on, go on. Like I'm not trying to get you to go spend a ton of money, but we went $5 Tuesday yesterday. But go see this movie in theaters. The reason why, because it just shows how creative and how genuine of a person Michael Jackson was, and how talented he was. We know, if you know his story, if you're my age, you know his story that, his dad was rough on all the boys. That was the Jackson 5. They had LaToya and Janet, the two sisters, but he was harder on the boys to make them the best of what they can be. And they did. The Jackson 5 became the band. And that's why we saw boy bands in the mid-90s pop up, because of the Jackson 5. I mean, we saw NSYNC. We saw before that, there was New Kids on the Block. That was in the early 90s. But mid to late 90s was NSYNC and a few other bands I can't think of right now. But they set the mold, and their music was amazing. I say that was one genre of music, or I say band, between the Jackson 5 and then Michael going solo, and then Tito, Janet going on her, on her own, LaToya singing a little bit. They all sang on some level of if they weren't together, they were on their own. I know Michael went solo. LaToya was solo for a little bit. Janet definitely, as we know, went solo. And I think Tito went solo. I didn't forget. And since the movie came out, he's passed away too. So condolences to Tito passing away. So it just brought me back to a place to just show you there can be, and there are good people in the world. I mean, I know everybody has heard, negative stuff about Michael Jackson. And to me, it's like, that's definitely not, I would say, in my opinion, not true. I think that people just see somebody so pure. Same thing I saw with Tim Tebow. I met Tim Tebow face to face, and I remember our conversation, and it was fantastic. It was me and one of my nephews, Niles Paul, talking to Tim for 5-10 minutes, and I just knew that he was going to have a fantastic career. He was a good kid. He was raised right, and I just saw the goodness in him. And that was the same thing I saw. I've never met Michael Jackson. I wish I had, but I've seen him perform a lot on TV, obviously not in person. And from what I've seen, what they've done with the story of his life so far, it's going to be, I mean, it is something that it is, you realize, if you're especially my age, you take it in. And for me, I took it in as, wow, that was a vital part of my life. And I enjoyed the music. I had fun with his music. And he also did great things for people. He would go to, when he got burned, and he got an accident during one of his concert performances or commercial, and he was going and visiting other kids in the hospital, the burn victims that through his burn. And he always done that. That's where his Neverland came from, where he wanted to have kids go to a safe place and have fun and be with animals, and the animals to him were his friends, and his, he had his family, but then his animals were his friends. And I just remember Bubbles and people always cracking jokes on him. But I'm like, man, this guy was a kid that grew up in an industry that is ruthless. In the entertainment world, if you're music or if you're acting, if you're in sports, it's not an easy task to keep up the facade, keep up who you are, because everybody's trying to tell you now. Everybody's trying to find the crack in the armor. I've been through things in my career, so to see that, it put me in a good spot that I want to, for me, what I do now doing this podcast is because I love video games, because I love to tell my story about what video games, that story about my dad, like I mentioned, how that affected me in a good way and made me part of the reason who I am right now. I'm a gamer, I'm an athlete, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm an uncle, a brother, cousin, all that. And I love doing what I'm doing if I'm with my family, if I'm not with my family, or with friends and family, kind of like this weekend, with my daughter in Pittsburgh, hanging out with her, with my wife and my son, Virgil, and friends, Atomic, Akedo, Shnobi, Eeyore, Dan, and Gwendolyn, and the people I met, new people I met, just fantastic, time. So like I said, if you get an opportunity, go see Michael in theaters. It is awesome. So on that note, I'm going to kick it to a commercial. Then I'll be back here for quick hitting news bites. So let me get ready for that. So we're going to start off with our people at Sly, and Sly is coming at you. I'll explain after the commercial. See y'all in a few. Whether you're deep in the digital world or out exploring the great outdoors, Sly Drink keeps the good times rolling. So power up your play with Sly Boost for energy, Sly Chill to relax, and Sly Dream to recover. No matter where your adventures take you, explore with Sly. Refresh, recharge, and repeat. All right. Is that? Let me get me let me fix my screen here. Can you see me? Where am I? Oh, that's dominating. There we go. Oh, there we go. Fix that screen up real quick. I was like, dang, the screen is kind of dominating. It's took over the whole thing here. So, real quick. So, Sly, that company I just did the commercial for, we'll be doing some big things there. We're growing this company. So, we're going to have a nice campaign starting this summer, handing out fun prizes, doing fun game-esque tasks. So, you know how in Fortnite where you have the weeklies of tasks to do in Fortnite, you're going to be doing that with me here in Sly Drink here in a few months here come July. So get ready. If you're a fan, subscribe, like, share this channel. We're on YouTube. We're on LinkedIn right now. We're on Twitch on Ahman Green TV and NIL TV Esports. We're on X as well. And we're on Instagram on Ahman Green 30 right now. So please go and follow and subscribe and all that. So it says beat Scalpers with Super Soakers. So what's up, Naughty? Good segue into this. So just for that, we're now from Sly. Hey, y'all be ready. It's going to be coming. So with the ad and with what Naughty had just said, we got Pokemon Scalpers, man. What is like Pokemon was at it was vendors at MGC selling Pokemon. So as the title says, a Pokemon store has found the most utterly bizarre way to beat Scalpers. So this is genius, and I'm happy to see this because my son is a Pokemon collector and he buys, sells, and trades in Arizona. And I know people that my wife, she is a collector as well. And I know a lot of kids are still the new generation of alphas and beta. I say alphas and Gen Zs are there collecting, right? And they're young, and sometimes they get taken advantage of. So now, I don't know how long this is going to last, but right now, a nice little win for the good guys. So, like I said, Pokemon Store has found the most utterly bizarre way to beat the scalpers. So, demanding customers, you got to pass the test before selling them TC cards in quite the thing. The CC cards is quite the thing, because what I know about scalpers that are Pokemon scalpers, they hang out at the Targets or the Best Buys or the GameStops and basically waiting for the managers or the employees stock the shelves with the Pokemon card, the Mega or the Evolution ones and all that. And as soon as they hit the shelves, they're gone. So in this story here, a Pokemon store in Japan has figured out a novel way to fight off all scalpers. So it's asking the customer to pass a quiz before they're allowed to buy the Pokemon products. So question, how was the feel in the game after Brett lost his dad? I'll tell you that. That's a good story behind it. Let me get through this real quick. DD Doc Infinite, and I will tell that story. It's a fantastic story. So, but here with Pokemon, so they have to pass a quiz before they're allowed to buy Pokemon. So Dextrose spotted a post on X from Ryo Sabi that reported the store is asking people to answer 15 quiz questions before they can buy any of the trading cards in the store. So according to Sebi, this method is working. They claim scalpers are failing the test and are and so are unable to buy cards before genuine Packer fans, Pokemon fans are able to get their hands on the cards, because what the scalpers do, they get there early and they buy all the decks, all the boxes that's being sold. So they don't get opportunity to the real fans, they'll get opportunity to buy the Pokemon card boxes. So Cowboy says, I've seen musicians ask people seeking autographs to name their song if you want them to sing a bunch of stuff. Right. I need to do that. I need to, you know what? I've done that once or twice with fans saying, hey, like name my what, a stat of mine that I name this stat. And I know the stat. So that's why I asked the question. So I like this idea that's happening over in Japan. So the test is being carried out by a store called Beck Camera, now based in Ikebukuro, Tokyo. Ikebukuro, Tokyo, which alongside Camera sells various other tech, produce, and toys, including Pokemon cards. So the quiz appears to be applied to the most recent Japanese Mega Evolution set, Ninja Spinner, launched in March, and proving extremely popular thanks to the heavily featured Mega Greninja X. So we will see the cards on May 22nd when Chaos Rising releases as well. So with 30 pack boxes limited to one per customer, even after the past challenge, the situation really underlines the continuing woeful lack of Pokemon products available. So here in a post here, you can see right here in this X post right here, I think that's Japanese right there. I can't even, it's poor lauder something. I don't know what that says, but if you know Mandarin or Japanese, there you go. You know what that is saying. So, and it says, and that's not even the extent of the buy camera's rules. Even after answering the questions correctly, the store will then slash the plastic wrap off the booster box to make it harder to sell, because people also sell the boxes as well for big money. And the poster notes that if anyone is caught photographing the question sheet, the store will simply stop selling the Pokemon cards entirely. So that is crazy. Hey, they got to do what they got to do, and I like it. They making scalpers know they business, know what they need to know. I wouldn't even, if I know it's like a prime time scalper, I'm not gonna let him get still. I might still be hold it back from him. So as the article ends, it says, we certainly are living in ridiculous times for the hobby. Yes, we are. It is unclear whether customers have to get all 15 questions correct, or if a store employee just needs to get a general idea that adult customers actually care about the cards they're buying. But you know what? A company, a Pokemon company, you really have to get production ramped up just at some point. That's kind of the last line. That is the last line from that article there. So it is interesting there. So I like like I said, I've asked questions to fans to say, hey, how many touchdowns did I have last year or in my last season, or what teams did I play for, or something like that, or what college I went to, or something. And if the die hard, I'd be like, what high school I went to, or where did I grow up? Where was I born? Because a lot of people don't know that. So the question for you, DD Doc Infinite, you asked me, how was the feel in the game after Brett lost his dad? Man, it was heavy, right? It was heavy because I knew Irv, Favre, and then so the night before, we played this game, obviously, in Oakland, California, against the Raiders on Monday Night Football. And we found out, obviously, the night before. And just when I actually heard it first, of course, it was a double take. Like, what? What just happened? No, that's not, that's not real. But yeah, it was real. So we had obviously emergency team meeting. Coach Sherman called a meeting up to give Brett his time to talk to us, kind of relay how he's feeling and what he's going to do. And, because a lot of us thought right away he's not playing in the game. He's not going to play. He's going to get on a plane with his family and go home and be with them. And that's what we were ready for. And he got up, he talked a little bit. I can't remember word for word everything he said, but at the end of it, we knew he decided to play because I know he said something, not verbatim, but he said something in the terms of like, his dad will want him to play football and be in that place, do the favorite thing that he loved, one of the favorite things he loved to do. So that's where we knew he was playing ball. From that moment on, for me personally, as soon as he said that, I flipped the switch in my head. I flipped this switch in my head where it made me feel like I was invincible. Like I just flipped the switch for my homie. Say, this dude, my best friend, one of my good friends, one of his parents just passed away at a time he wasn't expected, unknowingly. I flipped the switch in my head where I felt I was invincible. So that next morning and the next day, right, the whole game from the time I woke up to the time I went to bed or got on the plane to fly back to Green Bay, it was nobody was going to stop me than doing my job on the football field. And I was doing it for him and his family, for Brett, his family, his mom, his brothers, his sisters. So it was something that what came over me, like I'm speaking for myself. I don't know about my other teammates, but I know for me, any linebacker, it could have been the 85 Bears defense, the 2014 Ravens defense. I'm running through everybody to get yards, to get touchdowns. Why? Because I got to run for my boy. I got to make him feel, value. I got, show that we care about him. And this game is a game, win or lose. You know what? We lose the game, so what? It's just another game. It's football. We have another game next week. So what? But I told myself, I'm not coming off the field because I've heard Brett say his dad told him, times when he got hurt, I got to come. He said, you're done playing when I carry you off this field. I remember Brett's dad saying that to him in an interview, a long time ago. So I'm like, that's how I was built. And that's what, so I flipped that switch in my head. So that's, if you go ahead and watch those highlights of that game, and you saw probably a lot of touchdown throws because he did. I think first half he set an NFL record with 4 touchdowns against the Raiders in the first half, and he had 400 yards passing. But a lot of people, watching him do his thing was like we all were doing something. And like I said, I was doing what I was doing with the offensive line. And what was funny at halftime, what Mike Wall and Mike Flanagan came up to me and said, AG, how the hell are you getting yards out here? Because I don't know if you guys remember 2003, the Raiders defense was pretty solid. You know, they had Charles Woodson was still there, but they had other guys on their defensive line that was dudes. They were ballers, and our offensive line told me, like, hey, how are you getting yards? Because we can't block nobody. And so that's where I was at. Like I said, I flipped the switch in my head that I said, I don't need no blocking. If you block. But if not, I'm gonna run the ball. I'm gonna run right through these guys. I'm gonna keep running the ball. I think I had 2 touchdowns along with Brett's 4 touchdowns in the air. We had 2 on the ground. I had 2 on myself, and I had over 100 something yards. I don't know what I had, but I know the offensive line was like, how are you getting yards? Because we're not, they're breaking, we're these guys are like unblockable right tonight. And so after the game, I have a picture of it too. I'm just going to be hanging up around this house eventually of me hugging Brett, that night in that game. And so you couldn't tell me nothing that I could not do right or wrong on that football field that night. He said, I remember. So D-Doc says, Infinite says, I remember Javon switched sides, went black and white later on, but people care about this. Yeah, it was a special night. It was an unfortunate night, but something that we as a team came together and we supported our teammate, and that was it. There was no rocket science about that. So. All right, let me head up over to the little fundraiser I'm doing here. Let me get the page up. Thanks for that question, DD Doc Infinite. I appreciate it. I love talking football. I love talking about my career and the things that I did, and I did with some fun guys. I could say, like I said, I was probably with some of the coolest dudes because a lot of my teammates are my friends today. So I could just call them up anytime and say, "What's up? Hey man, how you doing?" Or, "Hey man, you want to do this event with me?" And so yeah, I've just been fortunate because I'm a fan of sport, of every sport I played: football, baseball, basketball, growing up, powerlifting. And right now, this is a little fundraiser I'm doing, t-shirt fundraiser right here. It's the Digital Divide Initiative, and the whole Digital Divide Initiative is off my game and origin story about my dad, being in IT and introducing me to PC and playing video games as a kid, couch co-op with my homies in the neighborhood, stuff like that. So the Digital Divide Initiative, if you click this link, I'll put it in the chat, you could get a t-shirt that helps fundraise for the cause. And the cause is I'm bringing esports labs to places across America, to Boys and Girls Club, elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, native res family centers, even universities that might need them. Never know. But click that link. It could bring you to here where you could come and you could donate. You could here's the other little challenges. If you come on my stream, you could do a live challenge where you make me do push-ups or something like that, or we play Madden against each other, or you make me. But this one says playing blindfolded for a few minutes in my favorite game, which is Mario Kart, but that won't go good. I'm not that good. I'm not like Luke Skywalker or anything. A fitness there. This is the fitness there where I do push-ups. So that'll be fun for me because I love push-ups. Game topic or game or topic shout out. So that means you could pick the game for the stream that I'm on when I'm streaming later. Today's Wingman Wednesday, but that could get changed. And these are the t-shirts that I'm selling. My wife created these t-shirts. So that's the story behind it. She wanted to do something. She said, asked me last year, "Hey, I want to make one of your t-shirts. I want to make a t-shirt of your career." And I said, okay. I just gave her the guidelines. I said, hey, only thing you got to do, you got to make sure, obviously, Green Bay, if we talk to them, we haven't talked to them then, we can't put the G on the helmet and all that stuff. We could use the colors and all that. And we could put all-time leading rusher. We can't put Packers all-time leading rusher, but people will see the jersey and kind of understand it. And so that's where the idea came from. It's my wife and one of her friends from high school designed it and put it out there. So this is the t-shirt you see there on the TV. So the first one is the t-shirt itself, $35. The collector's edition is $55. And the legacy bundle, you get a t-shirt plus a signed autograph and a signed program, which I have a ton of game programs that I'm on. And so We had a couple bundles of that already get sold. So this is where you could go to the website through Tiltify. We do have, I'm working on getting the address thing figured out. But either way, put your cell in and then jump in my Discord and let me know that you bought them, since it's a little malfunction with the address thing for now. But if you go in our Discord and you become a greenie, then that'll be even better. All right. So that is the digital divide initiative fundraiser, putting esports facilities in town. And we do have one this summer at the Menominee Reservation Family Center. We're going to be putting an esports lab there. So we have some PCs, we have some consoles, and then also everything that we know that comes along with owning the PC. It won't just be playing video games. They're going to be learning how to do fun stuff, coding, cybersecurity, content creation, like what I'm doing right now. So fun stuff. So that's the digital divide. Please help us out. Fundraise, help get a t-shirt or come on the stream, make me do something silly, have a good time. But on that note, I'm going to kick it to another commercial. We see one of my buddies here. Already did a slide. All right, these are my team at Stay Plugged In, who has helped me build out the esports labs across America. So this is also what they do. And I was with Stay Plugged In out in Pittsburgh for the draft in the Players League, where we mentored the high school kids. So shout out to the high schools from Nebraska, from North Carolina, and I believe New England, or somewhere in there in Connecticut, I think. So shout out to that. And here we go. Stay plugged in. Coming your way. We'll be back in a few.
Looking to turn your passion for gaming into a college opportunity? Stay Plugged In is the premier platform connecting esports players with college programs nationwide. Whether you're grinding on Valorant, Rocket League, or Overwatch, Stay Plugged In gives you the tools to showcase your skills and earn esports scholarships. Don't just play, get recruited. Visit staypluggedin.com and start your journey to the next level today.
All right, we are back. Let me share. Let me turn that off. Shared it. So we are this part of the stream or the podcast is this week in esports history, the week of April 27th and May 1st. As you see on the screen right here, we got CDL Major III. So this is back just a year ago, April 24th through the 27th, exactly almost 1 year to the day, where the Call of Duty League Major III concluded in Boca Raton, Florida, marking the first professional esports event ever held in the Palm Beaches there. So that is your esports history of the week there. All right, and then we're going to head right over. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot something. I do this on my show because I love my intros and I forget them because I'm just a one-man band here. So I open the podcast. So quick hit news bites. Let's do that real quick. Oh, man. That punched my head. All right. We got quick hit news bites out the way. And now the next segment of the show is... Oh, wait a minute. Let me go here.
This or that.
All right. Now, chat, you could participate with me in there. We could have some fun. This is the this or that segment. All right. This or that, of course. You get to pick Nike or Reebok. I'm Nike all day. So this or that. So boom. The warm-up is, or it's the this or that warm-up edition. Okay. And that means stuff you do in the morning to kind of get yourself going. That's what I mean by warm up. All right. So first thing on the list up is, I can end that. Sorry, I can remove that. Now it's just me. There we go. So we got coffee or energy drink. I drink neither. For me, what about you, chat? What about you, DD? Infinite, DD Doc Infinite, Naughty. Oh, coffee. Yeah, Naughty said he's coffee all day. I can't do it. I can't do it. I tried coffee in the morning in college a few times, and I was like wired for sound. You could plug me up and I would go. I was the Energizer Bunny, and I didn't. So I knew then I didn't need it. So I'll say I'll probably do caffeine only because the energy drink, if it's not slide drink, it's not healthy for you. So obviously any energy drink is not good for you except for slide drink, as we talked about. But hot coffee, I'll do coffee. Like I'll do a cappuccino. But also I'll do a coffee. That'll be my pick. What about you, DD Doc Infinite? Where's your answer at? What would you drink in the morning? What is your morning beverage if you need to? Naughty says coffee. He says hot coffee on a chilly day. It's a 10 for 10. I like that. Naughty. All right. Next item on the list is you can still put your name or put your choice in the chat. I'm going to keep going. Keep the show moving along. Next one on there is morning grind. Are you a late night hustler of work or gaming or whatever? I say recently I've been a morning grinder. I've been waking up around 5:45, 6 o'clock, get my workout in first, and then proceed throughout my day on my task of the day. Like just wrapped up with tax season, so I was making sure I was getting up, turning in my tax paperwork and all that online to my CPA and all that stuff, and cleaning up the house in places I need to help clean up and all that. So I've been a morning grinder. Get on a game of Madden first thing in the morning every now and then. Keep my skills tight. So I'm gonna go morning grind. What about you, chat? Where are you guys at? You're morning grinders or late night hustlers? Right? What are you doing? Night owl, cowboy. All right. DD Doc, are you ghosting me? Don't ghost me, man. Don't ghost me. I like to know your answers. I like to hang out, man. All right. And no pressure. No pressure. I want you to come back. All right. We got energy drink. We got coffee. We got morning grind for me. And now next one is in the morning, or your warm-up edition is you gonna text or you gonna voice message somebody. I'm more of a text person when it comes down to that. I know my daughter, she's been heavy into the voice messages. My daughters, actually, a few of them have been heavily into the voice messaging, and a few friends of mine, they hit me hard with the voice message. I'm like, oh, I'm more of a texter. Full sentence. I don't abbreviate. No, LOL or anything like that. No, I spell out the entire words when I text. So there you go. What about you, chat? What about you, Naughty? Where you at on this one? Text message or voice message, excuse me. So, or text message or voice message, either one. All right. Drop your answers in the chat. All right. Next one on. We got one more to go. We got headphones on or speakers up. I say for the show, I have my headphones on so I can hear the background, so I know what's going on. Never voice. That's weird. That's funny. And then Wolfie agrees with you over there in the Cowboy 90. He said that's weird. Never voice. That's weird. Speakers up. Yeah. Other than this show and streaming, I have my headsets on, but I am a speaker guy. I love going to the movies. We just finished off our theater here at the house. So I'm super excited about that. So I'm making every excuse to go in that theater to watch movies, or it's a TV show. We've been watching Monarch, The Legacy of Monsters on Apple Plus. Oh, watch it. If you haven't watched that, and Godzilla and King Kong on TV, just on everyday TV, once a week, new episode, get it. I might break that down for next what's on stream. I don't know. All right, last one up on the this or that of the week. You're going to like this one. You got homeboy or outside vibe. So, I'm seasoned. Homebody or outside vibes. I'm an outside person. Right now, you probably don't realize it, but my fan is not on and I need a little heat. And so I wish I was outside right now in the heat, but I'm going to put the fan on one. It's a little warm in here, so I don't want to start sweating too much. So I'm going to turn the fan on. So I'm an outside person all day. If I could stay outside, what I was to do as a kid, I was literally stay outside till the street lights came on. And then once I got in the house, I thought I was staying up late at midnight. I'd be like, oh, I'm staying up all night long. And homebody, we're vampire. I love it, Naughty. And I thought that when I was a kid, I remember one day I told my mom and dad in the kitchen, guess what? I stayed up all night long. And my mom said, how late did you stay up? I stayed up till midnight. She just looked at me and laughed. She was like, okay, yeah, you stayed up all night. And I'm like, why are you looking at me like that? She's like, no, don't worry about it. I just thought I was the dude since I stayed up to midnight. I stayed up all night. She was like, okay, we'll let you. Well, that's good. She was like, good job. You stayed up to midnight. I was like, I felt so like defeated. I'm like, dang, mom, you gonna do me like that? Wifey in the chat. She says, yeah, it's hot as he double hockey stick. HE double hockey stick his podcast. I can't help it. I just like the warmth. That's why that's one reason we live here in Texas. I was done with the cold weather. I still got family and friends up there. Love y'all to death, but I need the heat in my life for the rest of my life. All right, we're done with this or that. Good segment there. All right, let's head on down to this week in video game history. Let me see. Hopefully my my screen doesn't mess up and not buffer for 10 minutes here. Let's see if I share. Oh, I gotta share my screen again. Where's share my screen? There you go. Boom, 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 boom. There it is. It's boom. We got a fun game. 2000. What? Yes, it was a crucial moment for the fighting game community, the FGC. This title significantly expanded the competitive scene and remains a cornerstone in retro esports history right here. Street Fighter 4, yes indeed. I think I have this on my 360. I think I have it. Let me see. If I have it, I'm going to grab it too.
Who the heck are you? What do we have here? There it is. You know me.
Yeah, Street Fighter 4. Boom, 360. Got it.
Oh, well, you're out.
I got it on yes, sir. There it is. 2010, baby. I told you I had it. Put it back.
This time I'll send you straight to hell.
So yeah, there it is. Street Fighter. That fire. So fun. Did anybody play Street Fighter? Was that your game? Gabernati says hi. AG's wife, 3030. But if you are a Street Fighter fan, raise your hand. I'm a Street Fighter fan. All right, next fun game on the list. It's gonna be another classic. Oldie but goodie. Oldie but goodie. Ooh, let me get over there. It is in NBA, like I said. NBA Street 2. What I found out was that you could play with the NBA teams or you could play with unlockable like legends like Michael Jordan. Like he's a legend on here. What's his name? Dr. J. I think Bob Cousy's on this thing. Pistol Peak is on here. Yes, indeed. And they just have a little trash talking and everything. If I need to turn the volume down, I'll turn it down a little bit. But yeah, it was the game. I played this thing constantly when it came out. This, NFL Street 1, 2, and 3, NBA Street 1, 2, and 3, and they have Death Jam Vendetta was one Fight for New York and Def Jam Vendetta, and then Fight for New York. So this was wanted to be regarded as one of the best arcade sports games of all time. EA Sports Street Basketball Classic launched on April. What is it? April 27. I think that was also April 27, 2003 in the off season. So I know I played a lot of this game. I knew I played a lot of this game. It being in the off season for sure. So you had the little trick moves you do right there. Like you could shake them off you. You could shoot. Actually, when you get to shoot, you get your shot off right. You can make it, but then you come down for the big dunk. You can hack them. You see the dribbling and on the skills. It's kind of like and one. and get your shot blocked by Shaq. There you go. That is this week in a video game history. I want to let this ride a little bit because these games are so classic right here. So we got other newer games we're gonna be talking about here in a second. Gonna let the old school just take it for a little bit. They hitting with the passes and the same thing when you get your game breaker. Oh, you got Shaq blocking your shot right there. All right, so we are done with that and headed over to the Lucid Sound commercial. We'll be back in a few.
Love up your game with Lucid Sound, the next evolution in gaming audio. Whether you're Team Xbox or PlayStation, Lucid Sound has you covered with premium wireless headsets for Xbox Series X, S, Xbox One, PlayStation 5, and PS4. Hear every step, every shot, and every detail loud and clear. Comfort meets clarity. Game with Lucid Sound.
We are now in the game releases segment of the show. Here we go.
It's time for the game releases. Game releases.
Oh, so game release of the week and game up is on Nintendo Switch Elder Scrolls 5. Oh, see, now it's going to think about it. It's pinwheeling, buffering. Here we go. Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim Anniversary Edition comes out tomorrow. Came out yesterday on Nintendo Switch. So I'm sorry that it's doing its thing over here. It doesn't know when to wake up. But the big game that was on the other consoles, PS5, Xbox Series X, PC, has now found its way onto Nintendo Switch, and me and Akedo talked about this when he was here. That Nintendo Switch is doing bigger games, and I'm impressed. Oh, the NBA Street was good. Yes, it was so good. Off the board, self alley-oop all day, and then off the lay, this heavy game on little old Nintendo Switch is not little old Nintendo Switch anymore. They're bringing in heavy titles now between this and Cyberpunk and a couple other big AAA games. So Elder Scrolls Skyrim Anniversary Edition. Get it. Or have some fun just watching somebody else play it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, he says, I remember this launching. They had Link's armor hidden. I think it ran pretty well as a Switch. Yeah, I'm like, man, okay. That is so interesting that the Nintendo Switch is doing bigger things and better things, all right? So that was Skyrim, Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim Anniversary Edition on the Nintendo Switch coming out. It came out yesterday. All right, let me switch it over to the next game on the list. Here we have a nice VR game coming on the screen here. Let me turn the volume up a little bit. It is Echoes of Mora. Comes out today. It's on PC and PC VR. So that means your Oculus or anything like that if you own that. So as the story says, embark on a mysterious journey filled with intriguing interactions and meaningful encounters as you explore a sunken village and travel through time to help Mora find her lost brother. Watch the Echoes of Mora release date trailer as we are right now. It's a fun adventure game. Check it out on PC VR. That is out this week, y'all.
But it doesn't change what's
Look at that. The graphics look good. I like the graphics already. And it's VR. You got me when you said V. I'll play anything. I'm a gamer. So you give me VR. I have VR, my Oculus right below me. So just so you know. So that is our game releases of the week. So don't worry. If you have a VR set, go grab this. Or just watch somebody else play it. Figure yourself out. All right. See ya. Where are we headed at? Wrapping up this show. We're moving right along. We have one of my favorite parts of the show is what's on the screen.
Row, row, row your boat gently up the... sorry. Excuse me. It's time for What's on Stream.
So as I set up for what's on stream, we have Fallout Episode 5, Season 2, Episode 5, The Wrangler. All right, y'all. The Wrangler. That means you want to think that's what the ghoul doing some things, right? And he is definitely the person that has evolved quite a bit here so far. So as we get the screen up, and we got our girl Lucy doing some things, right? Always doing things. So in this episode, we find everybody doing something, right? The Wrangler. So in this show, things slow down just enough to deepen the story, but still delivers tension, character growth, and some what they say, wild Fallout style moments or what have you. So Lucy steps further into the wasteland as she's trying to figure out who's really the good guys and the bad guys. And then obviously the ghoul, who once was a TV actor before the bombs hit, you know, he's trying to figure out who he can trust is his wife, but trying to find him, his wife and kids. So Lucy continues her evolution from her optimistic vault dweller to someone who's starting to understand how brutal the surface really is. So she's learning quickly that trust is not something to be messed around with. It is dangerous. Her moral compass has been tested over and over again in every episode because, you know, she's coming from underground, remember? And so coming from the vault, kind of naive and everything. So we know that guy right there. We'll talk about him a little bit later. And so this episode really shows what survival is all about. And it's about adapting your mindset. And then this is where the ghoul takes center stage because he's dealing with this guy with the big mustache on the screen you see right here. The ghoul continues to be one of the most compelling characters in the show because he's been alive the longest, for one. And so when we saw him before the bombs hit, he was a family man, he was an actor, he was famous, and he cared about a lot of people, including his family. And now his family's gone, they're missing, so he's looking for them. But then also he did stuff with unknowingly with his wife that was kind of the person that basically dropped the bombs on him. So we got more insight on his past and motivations, his actions, blurred between the lines of him being a hero and an anti-hero because he don't really care anymore, because all he really does care about is finding his family, trying to anyway. So he proves again he's one of the most dangerous and the smartest people on the way, saying, yeah, he's been alive for 300 plus years. There he is. Speak of the ghoul, he's been alive for a while. So he meets Lucy's dad right there, working for Vault Tech along with his wife. So that's where some things kind of come full circle in this episode as well. So he doesn't just survive the wasteland, he controls it, you know, as he is figuring out what's going on between the interaction of his wife working with Vault Tech and other. And this is some of the people that give him the information about those Vault Tech things that his wife is doing and knows that she's not sharing with him. So that, you know, leads to the power and the control and I said manipulation of things in this episode, The Wrangler. So as the title of this episode, it shows, it hits hard and it hits here. So this episode is about that. Who's controlling who? Because we know Vault Tech, we know Lucy coming out the vault. We have Maximus too. So the power, where's the power dynamic at, right? Shifting between characters because Lucy and the ghoul were trying to travel together, but you know, we if you watch the first two episodes, that didn't quite work out. So people being handled or manipulated to serve bigger agendas, because you see this group of folk right here, they're out in the middle of nowhere doing their own thing, surviving, but being told different stories, you know, kind of like how the news today, you know, there's fake news out there on social media. Hey, you gotta be careful. Same thing here in Fallout. So people are being handled and or manipulated to serve their bigger agendas. All right. So Brotherhood of Steel. So this is where the tension builds for, I believe, Maximus and the army. So the Brotherhoods keep heating things up. So internal conflict and pressure continues to rise there. We see little cracks of leadership and the loyalty, and from there, and their mission is starting to feel more complicated than just order and control. Because what Maximus did, he took a few people out, and he had to, because they were going to kill a whole bunch of ghoul kids. If you remember that scene, if you have watched this series, the scene where what's his name? I can't think of his name, but one actor was going to take about 30 ghoul kids out, and Maximus said, "Nah, I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. Even though they're ghouls, they're kids. I don't want to kill them." So he took him out. So that means he got a little target on his shoulder, on his back, if people find out what he did. But I don't think they're going to find out. So we'll see. So some of the alliances that are coming up in this time is, not quite real strong. They're fragile. Survival comes at a cost, because if it ain't people, it's going to kill you on the surface. It's the monsters that we know that live out there. And then the line between good and bad is fading faster and faster as you watch the series. And this is a little walk through the game itself, the actual game. So I like how some of these videos do that. They give you the real visual of the game and how close that is to the live action of the series. So I say my final thoughts on this episode. So less about action, more about strategy and psychology of the game. Builds the tension is building from what's coming up next. And then the show that everyone is being pushed, or somehow trying to get wrangled or controlled, which I don't like. You can't control me. I was a running back. You can't, unless you had the best defense in the NFL, you wasn't going to shut me down. I'll throw that in every now and then. So, all right. So for me, this episode ain't about who's the strongest. It's about who's playing the game the smartest. So, like, you going to Bill Belichick them? Or what else? Who's another? Phil Jackson? Scotty! Triangle! You going to Phil Jackson that or what? So, good episode. But if you have not watched the series, this is season 2. They got 3 seasons. Number 3 season just got greenlighted. So if you want to watch the rest of that, please do. Or you want to watch the season 2 and watch season 1, go back and do that and catch up to what we're doing here. And on that note, I'm going to kick it to a commercial here from our good friends at Devour Go. And then be back with Ahman Green's Gamers Tip of the Week to end the show. See y'all in a few.
While you game, Devour Go delivers more than just food. It is the next-gen commerce platform bringing seamless ordering into the heart of gaming and entertainment. Skip the app hopping from your computer to the kitchen. Devour Go makes it easy to fuel up without missing a moment. Game on, eat up, Devour Go.
All right, here, Gamer Tip of the Week, as it scrolls on the top. Right above me there. It is we're in fighting games now, I went to Frosty's back in January. I'll probably be going again this upcoming January. And but when playing a fighting game, practicing, play the longer sets. So which teaches you it teaches your gameplay the adaptation better than the quick ranked matches. So playing the longer matches, play with somebody that's on your level, you learn the patterns. So why would you do this? You learn the patterns and habits and the mental endurance to keep tactically attacking somebody. Because in a fighting game, it's back and forth. When the person, you kind of get the timing of when they're going to block. You're going to get the timing of when they're going to come into a heavy hit or a combo or what you're trying to stop. So once you get all that down, that can happen within the first 30 seconds of the match, because a lot can happen in 30 seconds in Street Fighter, in Tekken, in Guilty Gear, in Grand Blue, in Super Smash, whatever. So in those moments, in training and practicing for that stuff, do the longer matches. Like I said, learn the patterns, learn your habits and your guilty pleasure of doing something. Like, I got a guilty pleasure in fighting games of sometimes if I get a little, bored and I want to initiate the contact, first hit. That's like me on a football field. I want to get the first hit out the way, get into the game. Sometimes you can't do that with really good players because they want you to attack, because then they'll counter whatever you throw at them. So be mindful of that. Have that patience to sit back, learn the patterns of your opponent, And then also that will build your mental endurance of knowing that this might be a 6 matches before we get a victor in the game, because Tekken is 3 wins or 2 wins. That's 4 matches. You gotta have to go all the way in. So make sure you learn that those parts of the game, be diabolical, be strategical. I say diabolical, be mess them up pretty good, but then also be strategic in doing that. So that's my fighting game tip of the week. That's the gamer tip of the week. I know it went fast, but I'm trying to wrap this up. Having a good day. And but again, shout out to everybody at GDC, MGC, Milwaukee Gaming Classic. Also the people that run it. So the people that run it, Dan Lucen and Gwendolyn, behind the scenes folks that helps us get to where we need to go for signings and events like that. And then for all my team that was with me from Akedo, Shnobi, Eeyore, Atomic, and Virgil, my son was there. So good times. Shout out to my daughter Ahmani. We were in Pittsburgh kicking it, having a good time. We had some good food too. We went to this one place called BJ's something. It was BJ's Burgers or Burgers and Wings. And we had a Philly cheesesteak, which was pretty good, and some hot wings. That was like a spicy chipotle sauce. It was awesome. So that was a good trip. Gonna wish we could do it again. So next year, the draft is in Washington, D.C. So it's in Commander territory now. So that's going to be interesting to see there. See how that goes. So on that note, thank you for tuning in to Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge, where gaming and sports collide with life as well. So we hope you enjoyed the show and got your daily dose of gaming goodness and insightful conversation. Be sure to follow us on social media. All right, let's start this. We're on X, AG30, AG all caps, AG Gamer Lounge _ AG _ Gamers Lounge. On IG, same thing, AG30, lowercase AG _ Gamers, _ Gamers Lounge. TikTok, Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge. Facebook, Ahman Green. YouTube, Ahman Green's Gamers Lounge, and NIL TV Esports. And the same thing with NIL TV Esports. We're on Twitch as well. We're on X as well, and Instagram as well. As well too. Also, whatever. You got me. All right. So subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Please do it. Subscribe. Hit that. Smash that button, as they say, and join the community of gamers where you become a greenie once you hit that Discord and come into our world. All right. There's the socials Naughty just put up. Appreciate you, cowboy. All right. So until next time, keep gaming strong. Stay passionate about your game and what you do in life in general. My name is Ahman Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leading rusher, signing off, and continue the game on, y'all. Peace. Go see some Michael Jackson, y'all. Go see him. Good movie. All right. Let's get this. Let's get up on it. We got music. We got to find first. Where's the music? Hey, man, that Michael Jackson had me going. That's not Michael though, but you know what I'm saying. You gotta go see the movie though. Please go. Treat yourself, treat your family, your friends. Go see Michael Jackson movie. What's good?